Okay, nasai minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 7. A lot of fun thing happened in this episode. I mean, like, God bless us with yet another amazing Lucky Sis appearance. Holy shit, she actually became a sister and nun. So everyone get on your knees and confess your sin to our newly sister Lucky C. Okay, are you ready to convert into Christianity after this? Because I am already a Christian. Okay, but this is also a really interesting thing because they actually, you know, like, we actually get to see the Abyssal sisters sitting in the church talking to one another. It might be, at first you might be thinking like, hey, this is just a really cool place for them to shoot a dialogue scene, but apparently this is a setup for Lucky C becoming a sister moving forward. Maybe we are, if this is kind of like a, how do I say, a excuse for the producer, the showrunner, to put Lucky C in different outfit, I am all here for it. Okay, like today we get to see her in a sister nun costume. The next day we're gonna see her in a maid costume. Then the next day we're gonna see her in a school uniform. Maybe like she's gonna go to school together with KuroIruka and Ichinose Houtarou. That is gonna be amazing. Okay, like if that actually end up happening, God bless Kamen Rider Gotchard for giving us such an amazing female character in the show itself. Okay, but I am getting way ahead of myself by talking about our beautiful waifu Lucky C. Let us go back to the beginning of this episode, and I actually noticed something that it might seems like really far-fetched theory, but I have a theory on what if Sabimaru is not using his iPad to project his sound out loud, but rather the iPad is a separate guy or a separate individual itself. It might be an AI rather than Sabimaru itself. Okay, why? Because in this episode we actually get to see a lot of instance with Sabimaru listening to the iPad, agreeing to what the iPad say, and kind of like having a little bit of dialogue with the iPad itself. So it really makes me wonder, what if the iPad is not the voice of Sabimaru, but instead this is a voice of another person, or maybe an AI itself. So this is a far-fetched theory, I know, but I just want to just put it out there, like lay it out there a little bit, like, you know, like what if, you know, like what if, something like that. So really interesting stuff. The next thing is we actually get to see Smartophone. Okay, so Smartphone got his official debut in this episode, and we don't actually get to see how he joined the team. That is okay, because this is not the first time that it happens in Kamen Rider Gotchard, and Smartphone is not the first one that actually does that in this episode. We actually get to see 3 other Chemy Cards that was being introduced just like that out of nowhere. We don't see how they are being captured, but they are being captured. Okay, so we get to see the kind of like a bicycle looking Chemy, and then next we get to see Pika Houtarou. Obviously, we actually got to see the combination, the wow form of Smartphone and Pika Houtarou together. Okay, and lastly we got nightmare inducing card. Okay, like every single time when I look at that card, oh shit, the only thing that I can think of is who is Rem. Oh my god, like I think I just that freaking well just give me nightmare that I can't forget for the rest of my life. It scar me here, right? It scar me. It makes his mark here. You know, core memory unlock. I will never forget. Every single time I look at a well in an anime style, I am always gonna remember that scene. Okay, so for those who do not know what I'm talking about, go and watch ReZero. It is one of the most interesting, I wouldn't say best, but it is definitely one of the most unique isekai anime out there. So I would encourage you to go and check it out. Highly recommended. Okay, but moving forward, we actually get to see how like we already mentioned about the Abyssal sister in the beginning of the video when I talk about beautiful waifu Lucky C, but apparently the Abyssal Sister is actually gonna take things slow, because I thought, like, after what we saw in episode 6, like how Afrotos actually says that, oh, I actually know their secret, okay, so I know their weakness already, so I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna, like, I thought that is kind of like a sign that things are gonna get serious, but what happened in this episode is, like, apparently they're gonna take things slow, like, hey, we don't need to, rush things. All we need is the driver at the end of the day, So, and they also mentioned something about this, a ton of malice left in the jar itself. So it really makes me wonder, like, how are they trying to collect a ton of malice, and that is kind of like a key to resurrect Master Gleon, something like that, or maybe like there is a huge possibility that Master Gleon right now is actually being captured or being locked behind a seal, or I'm not sure what is it, but locked behind closed door, and the Gotchadriver is actually one of the key that is gonna be used to open the door, something like that. Because what if the Gotchadriver is not actually created by Kudo's Rene father itself, it's not created by Kudo Fuga, but instead it's actually created by the Alchemist of the Dawn. Whether or not Alchemist of the Dawn is Rene's father or not, we still do not know. But if it is Rene's father, turns out to be Alchemist of the Dawn, is gonna be insane, okay? But my theory is that the driver existed since a long time ago. We thought that the driver is actually a kind of like modern human creation, but it might actually be more akin to the driver of Kamen Rider Oz or Kamen Rider Kuga and Agito, like very ancient tradition, like ancient driver, something like that. And that is the Gotchadriver. What if, okay, that is a possibility there. And I would actually really hope to learn what is the real name of the Gotchadriver itself, because Houtarou is actually the one that names the Gotchadriver. So I would really hope that in the drama itself, in the series, they are gonna let us know what is actually the real name of the Gotchadriver, rather than what Houtarou actually named it to be, something like that, okay? So that is just what I'm actually thinking about the driver and about the plan of the Abyssal Sister. I'm not sure what is Cloto gonna do moving forward, but she seems the most impatient one currently, so maybe the first one to go would actually be Cloto, okay? We are not sure how things are gonna go with the Abyssal Sister, but seeing how, like, impatient she is, like, I really felt like she might actually be the first one to go moving forward, okay? But I don't know, okay? Really interesting thing. And the next thing we want to talk about is another amazing waifu that I actually came to really enjoy her in the series itself, and that is Renge, okay? Like Sister Renge or Renge-chan, whatever you want to call her. She is becoming more and more of kind of like a wife material, not gonna lie. She hustle for the money, and most importantly, she always carry coupons in her bag, man. She knows how to hustle, she knows how to save up. She's gonna be a good wife material, and she is hardworking, okay? That is really amazing. And I think it's only like by her, how they actually design her costume and outlook, it actually make her not as like good looking as the rest of the cast. But I think if she really dress up and like really put herself up there, she's gonna be really amazing, is what I'm trying to say here. But another thing that I realized in this episode that is like really weird regarding her character development. Yes, she has coupons, but stopping halfway to get a tea break doesn't really fit her character in a sense, but that is just how I actually thought her character was being written in the first place. I thought her character is actually someone that is like very money obsessed, and someone that is gonna be very frugal. Like, there's not gonna spend a lot of money. It's gonna be very calculative with their money. So they're not gonna go to a kind of like a cafe just to have a tea break, something like that. But instead, that is exactly what Renge does in this episode. She is the one that offer, hey Rene, you want to go to the cafe and have a little bit of tea break, something like that. And that is a really fun and interesting scene, because in that scene we actually get to see our our main heroine Rene, just like her CPU got overloaded. She's not able to understand the order of the cafe at all, and I totally 100% get her. This is not her fault, okay guys, this is not her fault. For me, when I was young, okay, like back then I was just a teenage boy, I go to McDonald's and was like, thank God for technology right now, because back in the day you need to talk to the cashier. You'll be like when the cashier asks you like, what do you want to order, or you're just like and that is kind of like your first time going to McDonald's. For the first few time you're going to McDonald's yourself, not with your parents, you're gonna like lose your shit, okay? Like you get like kind of like a minor panic attack on the ordering counter. And one thing that I learned I actually try to avoid ordering food myself for quite a long time. I always told my friend like, hey, if you're ordering something, just order another one from me, and like, I'm gonna have the same food as you, something like that. That is how I usually skip the ordering process. Obviously right now I am a different person, I'm able to order myself already, but back in the day it is intense, man. Like it is definitely intense, and I 100% understand where Renee actually come from and how nervous she is when she got all the information overload, something like that. So back to Renge, okay? Like there's a little bit of sidetrack to Renee, but back to Renge, like what I'm trying to say here is like she is someone that seems to be someone that is like trying to get a lot of money, and we are not sure why is she so money obsessed. There's a few possibility. The first possibility is a really sad one, is that she needs the money for maybe medical fee for her family or her loved one. We are not sure. That is what we want, okay? Like a really sob story, really sad story for us to pity with her, like why she needs so many money. But there is also another possibility, is that she just love money, and she love to live a more fabulous lifestyle, and that is why we actually get to see her, even though she love money and she knows how to save money, she wants to live the high life as well. So there is also another possibility. If that is the case, then it would actually make sense on why Renge is someone that, you know, like someone that is like really, like I tell her, she's like truly wife material. She's willing to hustle, willing to save up coupon, and willing to spend the money as well. Holy shit, what better waifu than that, okay? Like really amazing job here. But I don't know, man, let us move on to some Kamen Rider stuff, okay? Because throughout the video we have been talking about waifu after another waifu after another waifu. Obviously Sabimaru is not a waifu, but you know, someone out there might think that she is a waifu, but not me, okay? I am super strat. What am I trying to do here? Let me proceed with the next thing, and that is, I don't know, man. Like I think the ending of this episode really took us by surprise, because we actually get to see Sabo Needle actually undo the henshin of the gacha of what am I trying to say? Sabo Needle undo the henshin. That is a big surprise, guys. Really big surprise. And after I think about it, it actually makes sense because of how Houtarou treated the Chemy. Houtarou actually befriended them, and when you befriend them, you're not actually imposing kind of like an authoritative power over the Chemy Cards. So they are actually, when they lend you their power, they are actually helping you. They are not obliged, okay? And they are not being forced, or they are not in a kind of like a slave contract, something like that, to provide their power to you. So they are not being dominated by fear, but instead they are being led by relationship. And that is why Sabo Needle actually doesn't have any fear or hesitation to undo the henshin of the Kamen Rider in front of Houtarou itself. And I think the reason why Sabo Needle actually undo the henshin is quite obvious, and that is the fact that Sabo Needle actually realized that the the Tombo Malgam is actually the father of Riku itself, and like they don't want to hurt one another. Like Sabonina doesn't want to hurt Riku's father, and that's why she undo the henshin itself. So that is really interesting. And speaking of this relationship between Chemy, I actually watched this, not watch, okay, I read this manhwa. It's not manga, okay, it's manhwa. It's Korean webtoon manga, something like that. And the title of the manhwa is actually called Tomb Raider King. And in that manhwa itself, we actually get to see they are using a lot of different kind of like they call it relics in the manhwa itself, but basically they are powered antiques, something like that. It's kind of similar to Chemys if you really think about it. But the interesting thing is that in that manhwa they actually established two way to kind of like use the relics itself. First way is to build relationship with the relics, and you have a strong affinity to the relics and you are able to use the relics easily. Another way is to use domination, just like you pure brute force, you force your will onto the relics and force them to submit to you, something like that. And it kind of like seems very similar to what we saw in Kamen Rider Gotchard as well. We actually get to see Spanna is the more domination type of person, and Houtarou is more of a kind of like, you know, like I'm gonna be your friend, you are my nakama kind of deal. And that is exactly why Sabonido, you know, doesn't have any fear or hesitation to betray Houtarou just to save the life of Riku itself. So that is really interesting. So next episode we are gonna see a new form yet again. I felt like this new form is gonna be outshadowed by the flying cactus. Like once again, like the needle hawk form is gonna be the one that they use to defeat the villain of Tombo Malgam. And speaking of Tombo Malgam, one thing that I realized is that they actually designed the Tombo Malgam to have the same hairstyle as Yanmagas. I think this is not a coincidence. This is a intentional design by the showrunner, so that they're trying to kind of like mix the series together, something like that. So that is gonna be, this is a little like Easter egg, something like that. So it's really fun. And I think that is pretty much it from me regarding Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 7. God bless this show. Like this is, I don't know, man. Like at this point I am no longer looking at the flaws of the show, and I'm just enjoying whatever that it gives me, especially with all the stupid thing that is coming out from this show. I think this is definitely a really meme worthy show. So all of you meme makers out there, work hard. I look forward for your memes. Then that is gonna be amazing. Okay, but that is all from me. I think Gotchard is been getting a lot of crazy love for the next for the last few days because of Kamen Rider Legend. And I don't know, man, like I don't really want to talk about it yet, because I usually react to a trailer and I speculate out of the trailer, but we actually got quite a lot of information regarding Legend right now, which I'm gonna make a video on. Maybe not. If they actually release a trailer, that's gonna be amazing, but so far no trailer, so I'm still thinking about it. Okay, but if you make it this far into the video, leave the word beast in the comment section below, because not gonna lie, Kamen Rider Legend is kind of like Beast 2.0 and Decade 2.0, something like that. Okay, so that is really amazing. That is all from me. Hope you enjoy, and goodbye.